Hello everyone and welcome along to the latest edition of Arsenal Fan TV, where we'll give our insight on our newest signing, Gabriel Paulista. Now Paulista, as you've probably heard, is a 24-year-old Brazilian defender who arrives from Villarreal for a fee of just over £11 million. As part of the deal, Joel Campbell moved to the Spanish outfit. And it's good to hear that Joel Campbell has signed a new deal with Arsenal prior to this move, as I do still think he has something to offer us. But back to Paulista, as mentioned, he's 24 years old and he's 6'1". He has been likened to a lot of defenders around Europe, which is never usually something to go by too much, as you always hear about the new Xavi, the new Iniesta, etc. But he has been likened a lot to David Luiz, which isn't necessarily a good thing, but that is due to his confidence on the ball and going forwards, and he'll be quite calm and collective, and he can pick out a pass which will fit in well with the Arsenal setup. He's also been likened to Laurent Koscielny, which is again a good thing, as we know what Koscielny is capable of doing on the field, and it also means that if he does have another lengthy injury absence, then Paulista can step in. Due to his height, he is comparable to Mertesacker, only in the height sort of sense though. He's strong and he's versatile as well. He can play on both flanks, so left back, centre back, right back, which is always a good thing to have on the pitch, and also on the bench as well, because it means he can come on and cover anywhere in the team. He's pacey, which is the crucial difference between him and Mertesacker. And if he plays with Koscielny, then we'll be able to play a high pressure sort of game with counter-attacking and just nicking up the ball and just being a bit more aggressive. But if you wanted to switch it and block the opposition, so to speak, and have a strong defence, you could play it with Mertesacker and there'd be some aerial dominance. Key things to note in terms of weaknesses. Well, it's quite early to say. He's only been in Europe since 2013 when he joined Villarreal. But with them, he has done really, really well. So we'll just get the weaknesses out of the way first before we switch to the positives. And to be fair, there's not many weaknesses. The main one will be adjustment to the league. And this isn't anything about the player and his capability or anything like that. It is just what happens when a player moves to the Premier League, because it's so fast-paced and it's so aggressive. So we might have to wait a while until we see him settle, but that would be the same for any January edition. The other thing is that he's not capped at international level. At 24 years old, this is a bit strange, but when you think about it with Brazil, when they've got players like David Luiz, Thiago Silva, Dante, Miranda and Marquinhos, it's always going to be difficult to break into that side. And with Arsenal, he'll now have a platform to push for international football in the future. So they're the negatives, and that's only two really, so that's a good thing. But on to the positives. Now, you can take a lot by his performances last season from Villarreal, where they suffered relegation a couple of years back, but they came back in 2013. That was their first season back in the Primera Division, the La Liga, and well, they went really well. They flew up the league standings and qualified for European football. Narrowly missed out on Champions League to Athletic Bilbao. And there were concerns that they'd suffer from second season syndrome this year, but they haven't done that, and they're well in the running for a Champions League place now. During that time with Villarreal, he's played all 19 of the games in the league, and Villarreal have only conceded 17 goals, and that's obviously very, very good. During that time as well, since November, they've been on a 17-match unbeaten run where they kept 10 clean sheets, which is really, really good. That's a high percentage of shutting out, which is what Arsenal need to do, because we all know we're capable of scoring goals, but we've been quite shaky at the back at times this season, and Paulista will really add some strength there, not just to the first team but also in depth, and there'll actually be competition for places now, which is good because you've got the likes of Mertesacker and Koscielny, who will probably remain being our starters, but Paulista can definitely push to get in there. And then you've got Chambers as well. Monreal can also play in the middle, so we now got a good crop of defenders, which is what we need going forward. and this will be crucial in the FA Cup, the Champions League, the Premier League, any competition we're playing till the end of the season. This depth that we now have in defence is much improved. So I truly think that Paulista will be a good signing. Obviously, as mentioned, it will take a while for him to settle, but going on, this will be a very, very good deal. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and stay with Arsenal Fan TV for all the latest.